Welcome back to the fourth episode of this series where we're learning about how to score a game of Go and determine a winner. In this episode, we're going to learn the second method of scoring, which is called territory scoring. So territory scoring is generally used by the Japanese Go Association, the Korean Go Association, and several online Go servers. This method is also very popular amongst professional Go players as well as stronger level Dan level players. That is because this territory scoring is a little more nuanced, and so I personally don't recommend beginners to learn territory scoring. Personally, I would recommend beginners to learn area scoring, which is a more straightforward and simple way of scoring a game of Go. But anyways, let's still learn how to score this game of Go using territory scoring. So let's take a look at this first example here. In this 9x9 Go game, we see that black has territory over on the right side of the board and white has territory over on the left side. The first thing that we need to do, as in both methods of scoring, is to mark the dead stones. So we see that on the right side, 3 white stones have been marked dead because they cannot make 2 eyes. And on the left side in white's territory, we see that 1 black stone has been marked dead. After we've marked the stones that are captured, the other thing we need to make sure is that we keep all the captured stones in check in this game. So it looks like from here, black has captured 3 white stones over this game, and white has captured 4 black stones. And it is very important in territory scoring to keep track of the number of stones that each player has captured. This is not something you need to do in area scoring, which is why I still recommend area scoring for beginners, because you don't need to keep track of all the captured stones and dead stones in the game. But in territory scoring, it is very important that you make sure you keep track of how many stones each player has captured. So with that in mind, now let's count up black's score first. So here, I've counted up black's score, and if you look on the right side of the board, you can see that black has a total of 26 territory. And notice that I counted the dead white stones as part of black's territory, which adds up to 26. But the black stones that are within black's territory, even though they are live stones, they do not count towards black's point. So this is another property, very important property of territory scoring, is that stones that are placed within one's own territory do not count towards their total score. So when you're using territory scoring in a game, you do not want to be placing extra stones inside your own territory. This is interesting because in area scoring, which is the method I recommend instead, in area scoring, playing stones within your own territory will not affect your total score. But in this case, in territory scoring, it will. So make sure that you do not place any extra unnecessary stones onto your board. So here, black has 26 territory, plus their 3 captured white stones in the game. So these 3 captured are not the ones you see already on the board. These 3 are stones that were captured earlier on in the game and has since been removed from the board. And adding 26 with 3 together, we see that black has a total of 29 points. Now let's move on to white. So looking on the left side of the board, we see that white has a total of 22 points. Adding the 4 captured stones, that makes 26. Now, in territory scoring, the general Komi used is 6.5, which means that we add the 6.5 to white's territory. So white has 22 plus the 4 captured stones, which is 26, plus the 6.5 of Komi, which makes a total of 32.5 points. Now comparing black's points with white's points, we see that black only has 29, whereas white has 32.5, and therefore white wins this game. Now that we are done with the 9x9 board, we can move on to the 13x13. So in this game, we see that black has territory over on the right side of the board, and white has territory over on the left side. As usual, we have marked all the dead stones, and in this case, there is only one dead stone still on the board, which is black's one dead stone near the center of the board within white's territory. So after we have marked the dead stones, we can now count up the territory of each of the players. So let's start with black. Over here, we see that black has a total of 63 territories. The 63 plus the 3 captured stones that black captured earlier on in the game and has since removed. 63 plus 3 gives a total of 66 points for black. Now let's look at white's points. White has 56 territories. Note that we are adding on that one dead stone, one dead black stone towards white's territory. White has 56 points plus the 2 stones that they have captured earlier on in the game, which makes 58. 58 plus the 6.5 Komi that is generally used gives 64.5. Comparing black's 66 points with white's 64.5, we see that white doesn't have more points than black. Instead, black has more points than white, so black wins this game. Now we can move on to the 19 by 19 board. So we see that black has territory towards the upper right area of the board, as well as his bottom right and center of the board. We also see that white has territory towards the left side of the board, and this smaller area towards the upper right side of the board. So now that we have identified whose territory belongs to who, we also see that the 3 white stones that are within black's territory are marked dead because they cannot make 2 eyes. So now that we have done both of that, we can start counting black's score. So here we see that black has total territory of 118. 118 plus the 5 captured stones that black has captured earlier on in the game. 118 plus 5 is equal to 123. So black has 123 points total. Now let's look at how many points white has. White has a total territory of 116, plus the 6 stones that white has captured earlier on in the game. That makes 122 points. This 122 points worth of territory plus the 6.5 means white has 128.5 points. This 128 is more than the 123 that black has, so in this game, black has lost and white has won. As you can see, territory scoring is a little more complex and nuanced than area scoring, so again, I'll reiterate that I do recommend beginners to learn area scoring before they learn territory scoring. However, if you are an expert at Go and you are planning on going into professional playing, then you should learn territory scoring as well as area scoring. And now, let's recap the main ideas of this video. First, we see that in area scoring, dead stones are not considered, but in territory scoring that we did today, dead stones are in fact considered, and you must keep track of the number of stones that each player has captured throughout the game. Number 2, we see that Seki points are not considered. So if you go back to the 19 by 19 as well as the 9 by 9 board, you'll see shared points between black and white, where neither black nor white has that territory. And since in territory scoring we do not count up stones, those points don't really matter whether white fills it up or black fills it up. So Seki points are not considered in territory scoring. And finally, in territory scoring, playing within your own territory will hurt your points. It will decrease the number of points that you have. So make sure, especially for beginners, to not play any unnecessary moves within your own territory, because that will only cut down on the number of points that you have if using territory scoring. But like I said earlier on, with area scoring, if you play in your own territory, that is fine because live stones count equally with territory. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned how to score a game of Go in this series. If you want to learn more about Go and how to play, please follow and subscribe to my channel, and check out my TikTok where I post short videos every day and talk about fun facts about Go. So have a good one, and I'll see you next time.